Hi everyone.
Welcome to Anti-Anxiety Hour. I'm your host, Illicit Ghost. Found your music on the internet, and I couldn't get enough of it. Now I wanna have a little chat. Wanna know where your head is at. I just wanna talk to you, find out more about what you do. I just wanna hear your view, tell me more about what you do. I'm a Illicit Ghost, I'll be your host cause it's my radio. I just wanna hear your view, tell me more about what you do, what you do, what you do, what you do, what you do.
Hello everybody. How are you doing today? Thank you for joining me for Anti-Anxiety Hour. Another episode. Today's episode I'm very excited about. So, today, and by the way, if you guys want, leave questions in the question box. It's at the bottom of the screen. I know some of you sent in questions already. I have them, and we will answer them today. So, today's very special guest is artist Shamir. Aside from being an artist, Shamir also founded a record label called Accidental Pop Star, and today we are going to talk about his new single called On My Own. As soon as I heard it, I instantly connected with it because, as you know, I love being alone, I love being by myself, and I love songs that are about being strong and being independent and not needing external validation to know your worth. So, without further ado, let's bring in Shamir. Hello!
Well,
How are you?
good. Just chilling and working. I'm working on my next video right now. So, but other than that, just been taking it easy. So,
Are you filming your video at home?
yeah. So the next video will also be done completely by myself on my own at home, like the
Wow,
last one. So,
that's cool. Are you filming it yourself on your iPhone?
I have a camera.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is like it's good too because I did on my own video as well, but completely by myself. So. Continuing the same thing, and trying to bring kind of like the same cohesion along with this video as well. So
Cool. Yeah, I saw the On My Own video and I thought it was awesome. If you guys haven't checked it out yet, go on YouTube, look up Shamir On My Own. You can watch it on YouTube. So yeah, I wanted to talk to you about your new song. I love it, as you know, and I just wanted to know a little bit about why you wrote it and maybe if like a particular event or feeling inspired the song.
yeah, it, I wrote the music back in 2018, back in the summer of 2018, and just could not for the life of me because normally when I write my songs, I write them all together. Like I write lyrics, melody, like everything just kind of pours out at once normally. So it was like very weird for me that I wrote this, instrumental that I liked, like I felt connected to it, but simply couldn't write to it. And right after that, that's when I kind of like started like this like relationship and start seeing this guy and that, I mean, if you know me, like I don't date first and foremost, and I definitely and don't like it's not something that I try to do. Like any of like my relationships have always kind of been by like happenstance. Um, so it was very much like that. And then kind of when that like dissolved the following summer, the song, like lyrics and melody just kind of poured out of me. I was just sitting in bed. I wasn't even listening to the instrumental. I wasn't even playing my guitar, I don't think. It's just everything just poured out. And then my head was like, hey, you remember that instrumental from the summer before? Yeah, this goes with it perfectly. Like, go pull it up because it was just on my 4 track because that's where I do all my demos on. So I didn't have it like on my computer or like anything. Like I had to like go downstairs to my 4 track, bring it right back up, and like everything fit together like a puzzle piece. It was insane. I've never written a song like that before.
That's awesome. Yeah, sometimes, something hits you and you just have to run with it, go with it. Can totally relate to that. But that's cool. Um, I love the story behind it. It's always good to know like how something came about. I mean, as an artist, like I love hearing those kinds of stories. So thank you for
Same,
sharing that.
honestly. Same, honestly. Because I love how, all of our processes are all different. And it's just like, it depends on the artist and the musician and the person. So,
Right. Yeah. So I read somewhere that you refer to the song as an accidental quarantine anthem, and I was just wondering if you could like explain that a little bit.
well, yeah, because I think, obviously the way the rollout and everything happened, I did not, expect to be releasing the song in the middle of a pandemic. Um, and I think, a lot of people, maybe a little less now, hopefully, but definitely like at the beginning, a lot of people had to learn how to be and live with themselves, like in a new way that they just never had to.
Yep.
And even though the song, for me on a personal level might be about a specific thing in like a relationship, that I think, it can easily be applied to current events and like current situations because I always think being comfortable with yourself is a very this is a very important thing. Like yeah, I think, I mean I hate to use the word, but I think things can lead into toxic territory when you become kind of more comfortable with someone else or even just an external thing than before becoming comfortable with yourself, which I think we've kind of been socialized to do in a weird way. Like I say in the song, I refuse to fucking suffer just to feel whole. And that kind of is like not because I feel empty as a person, but more so this social construct of needing to find that other half of ourselves. But that's not how a relationship should be. Like a relationship should be two wholes coming together to be even more powerful, not two halves of people becoming one thing. Like that's codependent, that's unhealthy. And the fact that we look at relationships like that needs to change.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I've seen friends get into horrible relationships and not know how to leave, and it takes a lot of strength to leave that kind of relationship and to know your worth and to say, okay, actually I don't need someone else to like feel like I'm enough, which is a
Yeah.
very hard thing to do, and I feel like it takes a lot of time to learn that. But yeah, we're conditioned to think that we need somebody else when you know what, if we think that, the relationship usually fails because then you're so dependent on the other person for your happiness, and it's like it just doesn't become a good situation.
Yeah,
um
and we all know that, as much as the stride and the goal for like relationships is to, last as long as possible, like forever, but like we also all go into this knowing that there's a possibility that it could end. So like why not be comfortable with yourself going into it? Like why? I guess kind of like, it's better to do the work early on than have to do the work while you're already in a traumatic period,
yeah.
if it does fizz out.
Yeah, I totally agree. I'm glad you brought that up because I feel like not a lot of people bring that up, and I think it's important just to like remember that you have value just by yourself. Like, and if you don't feel like you have value, like, figure out ways that you can find it. I mean, there's a lot of work that you can do on yourself in order to realize how valuable you are. And it took me a long time to realize that I had value as just a single person. So I understand that, if anyone's watching this and you're feeling like, you're not worthy, it takes a lot of work, but in the end, it's worth it for sure. Because at the end of the day, it's just you. You're stuck with yourself, and you need to learn to be okay with that.
And these are things that, like, not only are we kind of like socialized to feel like we're not enough because of kind of like these social, romantic relationship, and definitely, heteronormative standards too, relationship ideals, but also, you know, in late stage capitalism, we also are kind of like programmed to not feel like we're enough for the sake of capitalism as well. Like if we
Yep.
all know our worth, capitalism is not going to do too well with that.
Right.
So there's so many levels, on a social economic level as well, and that's by design. And so, just like you said, understand it's hard to deprogram something when you also still going through on a day-to-day basis of the world telling you that you're not enough. But it can be done. It just is hard.
Yeah. It's hard and it takes time, but it's possible for sure. Um, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about your experience in quarantine and if you have like a daily routine that you follow.
I've never been the best with daily routines. It's never been something that I've been great with. So again, kind of like blessed in the fact that, when all of this kind of like went down and, quarantining and lockdown happened, not much with my daily life changed. Um, I think if anything, because I think I do music full time, and I think the thing about that is, especially when I'm not touring, because I also take really long breaks in between touring, and like between those breaks, I um you know try to stay as productive as I can while also still resting up and observing my mental health and like doing all of that. But I still, make it a habit to still stay creative and help with other creative endeavors or like things, i.e. with like my label and stuff, and other things that I can do within the community. And so I think that hasn't changed. And I think that's kind of like because of the pandemic and because there needs to be or there's a more of a need for community outreach and togetherness and helping. It's kind of the morale kind of went up for me in a way because like I'm constantly trying to find ways to help. I'm constantly trying to find ways to stay creative. I'm constantly trying to do all these things that I was doing before, but like even more now because of the pandemic. So yeah.
Yeah. My day to day didn't really change that much either. I guess like as artists, it's, you spend a lot of time by yourself, especially if you're not working with like a lot of other people. But yeah, I mean, for me, it's like, I force myself to have a daily routine because otherwise I will like spin out. Like my mind will go crazy. It's not good. But yeah, so I just like force myself to get up and take a walk every morning. That's like the one constant. That's like all I can really stick to. But yeah, that's helpful for
I
me.
want to do more walks actually. That's something that, 'cause I love to walk. And I think because before I just kind of integrated walking a lot just in my normal life, more shopping, if I'm doing this and like blah, blah, blah. But because that has changed, so, now, and I don't get to this like, walk around and like aimlessly walk into stores like I used to do, you know. Now I do have to kind of make more of a point to like implement like, okay, Shamir, go for a walk, you know, and I've been doing it more just like, with merch orders and like everything, but like if I'm not doing anything, I still try to make it a point to just like go for a walk around the neighborhood, see things, get some fresh air.
Do you feel like you're more creative because of quarantine, or is it pretty much the same?
I should haven't been as creative as I normally would or have been in the past, and I think that's because I'm still kind of like recovering from two things. I recently stopped smoking marijuana for a long period of time. Haven't smoked since October last year, and then I also stopped smoking cigarettes the previous month in August, so or 2 months before that in August. So August will be a full year since I've had a cigarette. Um,
Really
and
good.
huh?
It's really good. It's hard.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and I did cold turkey too, which was just like insane. But it was just like I woke up one day and I was just like, today I feel like I could do this, and if I don't, now, then I never will, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, so because of that, I think I've kind of just like, first of all, I'm releasing my seventh album in 5 years, so that's not on that. I think I could I definitely can afford to not be as creative as I have been in the past, first and foremost. And then also, secondly, just like, I feel my brain changing without nicotine and marijuana on a regular basis. And I think I'm just kind of giving myself space to allow that change and the healing, I guess, of my brain, whatever is going on with it. For the better, though, I do feel a lot more healthier, so that's great.
Do you have any other? I'm assuming you were maybe using cigarettes to manage anxiety or stress. Do
Mhm.
you have any other ways that you're managing anxiety now?
I have a daily journal now. That's
Nice.
honestly been a really great. It's it's something I always wanted to do, but I got this. Me and my best friend since like middle school, we started this journal. Well, we both got this like same journal where it's like it's already like pre-made questions for the day for you, which is like something that we both were just like great for us because we have always wanted to have a journal, but kind of always, you know, didn't know where to start really, especially for me as a writer, as a songwriter, and then also, I also do TV writing, but also like write other things too. I'm always like, I need a prompt, like it's very, I guess it kind of turns into, it feels a little too kind of like therapy where you just like have to write my feelings, like what I'm feeling now. And I guess I'd rather do that verbally, so I'll have to go back and read it.
Okay. Yeah,
So,
I hear
yeah,
that.
the journaling has been great for that.
I tried to journal, but then I was like, I didn't want anyone to find it. I'm like very paranoid someone's gonna find it and read it because it's so personal. But I guess I do like there is such a huge release when you like write your emotions on a page. Like
Mhm.
it's almost like a drug.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, no, it's something that I hope I can like just get over my fear of like that someone's gonna find it and read it and know my most inner secrets. But yeah.
I think that definitely that aspect is like not so much for me, I guess, because like if anyone follows me on Twitter, they know that I have very few ambitions.
Okay.
Uh, I think I'm more scared of just kind of just like without an actual prompt or like some kind of like direction on like what sector of my emotions I need to write about. It's just going to be an incoherent mess. And then I'm like, how is that going to be helpful for me? you know?
Okay. Um, would you mind sharing what kind of journal you have? Because I feel like some listeners might wanna get
Yeah,
it.
so it's a question today. It's in my room upstairs. I'll get it. Hold
Okay.
on. Um, So yeah, it's just like a question a day situation. And it's for the next 5 years. So me and my best friend were the same age. And we basically got it for our 25th birthday. And since it's 5 years,
Oh,
we're basically like just going to read each other's when we turn 30, essentially. So
wow.
yeah, so that I like it for that fact too. Let's go back down where it's like better lighting so you can like really see. But yeah, it's just um yeah, so it's one question a day.
One question a day. There it is, guys.
You get like prompts and you put in the year for the next 5 years and you do it and
I
yeah,
like
it's
that.
really,
It's such a good idea.
yeah.
Um, okay, so that's cool. Is there anything else that you do to manage stress?
Um no, not really. I'm honestly kind of like lazy too. It's very easy for me to kind of like do nothing.
Yeah, listen, I know.
Realistically. Um I'm also a film and TV buff, so I like to binge a lot of things. Just binge Love Simon. Um,
Oh, I
which
just
is like
started it.
it's so funny because me and my best friend we started in, and um, whenever we kind of like watch anything together, we start to like stand and like talk about things after we finish it. And while we were talking about it, another friend of mine, ran into the kid from Love Simon from Love Victor and sent me a selfie right as we were talking about the show. And I was just like, oh, well, we love that. The energy.
Awesome. Yeah, Netflix for me is good to like, it really calms me down to just watch something at night. That's like a way that I can manage my anxiety. It's just probably like an hour every night of just Netflix, and that's it. For some reason, it's really calming. And also, Love Victor is really good. And have you finished it?
I finished it. I enjoyed it. I
Okay.
finished it. I enjoyed it. It was really good. Um, what else did I finish? Oh, I just finished Love Live on HBO Max. If anyone has that, it was really great. Um,
Oh yeah, with Anna Kendrick, right?
wait, Anna Kendrick,
Yes, yeah, I watched it too. It's really good.
really good. Um, yeah, anything. I have like all of the streaming platforms because I write for TV. I've taken a break this year just because with all the label stuff or the album stuff and label stuff as well. Because I'm also doing a album release for the label for another artist as well. So, but
Cool.
yeah, like I'm also self-managing right now, so like TV has really, especially like TV at night, to just like help get my mind off of my emails and like everything before I go to sleep has like really, really been helpful because like I just trying to be on top of things as well and just trying to be like a good manager for myself, you know?
Yeah, that's hard work.
Yeah.
That's like it's like 24/7.
Yeah.
What? Um, would you mind sharing what genre of like TV you write for?
Well, no, not by TV or I mean like TV. I don't really like to call myself a critic. Basically, like, TV columnist.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah, so I have a TV column on Talkhouse called Ratchet TV.
Okay.
And I would call it a review. It's less of a review and more so just kind of just like what I took away from it personally. Like I don't really like critique it on like how like normal TV writers like critique things that they've seen. But more so just kind of like this is what I took from it, this is how I resonated with it, and this is, you know, something for you to not even say that you should take it this way, but it's like something for you to think about if you took it a different way or just a different perspective to think about, you know. to watch it too. And I try not to spoil it too. I try to like write it in a way where um, you read it, you can read it first and then watch the show and be like, and but still have like what I wrote in your head while watching.
Cool.
So
Well, I'm gonna check it out.
yeah,
Ratchet TV, everybody.
on top of
TikTok?
this, yeah.
Okay, cool. Um, Thank you for sharing that with
Yeah.
us. So at the end, I usually ask 3 questions to the artist. Would you mind if I asked you?
Shoot,
Okay.
that's what I'm here for.
So, what song is your anti-anxiety anthem, if you have one?
Hmm. Probably the song that I still consider my favorite song ever, period. Nothing has really touched it yet. I'm sitting here waiting for something to beat it. But the song called Critical or Claudia's Critical, depending on which release or like which version you have. But it's a song called Critical by this old, like kind of like I think they still do music, but like this kind of like older early 2000s like DIY band from Brooklyn called Japanther.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
cool. Okay.
That song, it's just something about it. I feel every single emotion when I hear that song, and I think that song cover every single emotion. It makes me feel nostalgic. It makes me feel sad. It makes me feel happy. It makes me feel triumphant, and it's just and it's like barely any words. It's barely and like I don't like instrumentals first and foremost. Like to me, whenever I hear instrumental, I just want to sing over it because, like, to me, my favorite instrument is my voice, And but like, there's barely any words in it. It's mostly instrumental, but it just, yeah. So anytime I'm kind of like feeling anything really, and I just need to feel anything but anxiety, because that's like the only thing that it doesn't make me feel. I put it on and just it melts away.
Nice. Yeah, music can do that.
Mm.
Um, what are you most grateful for today?
Today,
Yeah,
um,
or in general.
or in general, like the relative present.
Sure.
Um, it's a little hard right now to say because of things, but I guess overall I'm grateful for the response the song, the single has been getting, because it definitely exceeded my expectations, especially just with everything going on. Like the fact that it's resonating with so many people in a positive way that is kind of like getting their minds off of the mess that is going on is the biggest compliment. And really, really is validating because, I only make music for it to have, I don't want to say to have a purpose because I feel like all music has a purpose, and when people say certain things in art doesn't have a purpose, I hate that. But I I try to write in a way where 'cause just like I said, the song lyrics, even though it's about a specific thing for me, I always try to write in a way where it's open for interpretation, but the feeling and sentiment is still very direct. And I'm glad that people are just kind of like picking up on that and like, oh my butterfly.
Aw.
I'm glad that people are picking up on that and using it to find solace and during these crazy times and having it relate to how they're feeling and how they're coping, even though it wasn't written for that, because and so that's why I was like a little nervous releasing it because of that. Like I didn't know how it would affect or merge with already high anxiety that everyone is experiencing it. And the fact that it's soothing it is the best compliment.
I mean, yeah, we need that. We need to be soothed, It's all part of it. So that's great.
Yeah.
I'm glad it's doing really well. because you're independent and
Mhm.
really hard to be an independent artist. So yeah, good. Um, the third question that I wanted to ask you is, what is your favorite thing in your room?
Favorite thing in my room. I don't have much in my room. Um, I've tried to keep all of my stuff to a minimum because just because I know that if I don't, I can definitely easily be, verging on hoarding. So I definitely live by the concept of like, you know, do I need it? Will it be helpful? Is it utilitarian? Like I always, anytime I get anything, I ask myself that, and like really try to assess and gauge how much use I'll get out of it. But but I would say, at least for right now, this book, it stays on my bedside, and writing it every night before I go to sleep, and yeah, it's yeah. I would say that, really. It's weird to say my freaking journal, but it really is, at least right now. Everything else could kind of like completely be replaced, but this can't. I've already put 6 months into it.
Yeah, you gotta keep going, you know?
Yeah.
We did get some questions from the audience. Um, they would like to know, who are your favorite bands?
Um, so I've dedicated my whole left forearm to all of my favorite bands. I don't know, it could barely be seen, but I have the Vivian Girls.
Oh,
And then
wow.
I have this Tegan and Sarah one, and then I have like the K Records situation.
Nice.
Um, but yeah, Living Girls' favorite band. My new kind of like right after the Living Girls for me right now is this band that I kind of just discovered. But they're an older band. They're called Kitchens of Distinction. Um, they were a really huge inspiration for my next record that's coming out as well. Whole, obviously, you
Yeah.
know. Um, and a lot of 90s stuff, Unwound, a lot of 90s kind of like Olympia, Kill Rock Star stuff. And then just a lot of pop. Like I love pop music as much as I love grunge music. And, I spent the last 5 years trying to get that formula together so I can have it all, so I can have my cake and eat it too. And I'm glad that people are responding to that sound and just hearing both of those influences. So
Yeah, it's really interesting. Like, there's the combination, at least for me, it just feels like so nostalgic, but in a fresh way. I don't know how to really put it, but yeah. And
that's
I
what
know
I
it's
want.
like,
Literally, that's just
it's,
what I want. So
yeah.
that's great.
Um, Another question we have is, how many instruments can you play?
You see, it's weird because like I'm such a jack of all trade, master of none, you know? Um, so I'd say I'll say guitar and like keyboard, piano, just because those are both of the instruments that like I can sit down and make my way around just like off the top, you know? Um, But, I play everything on my record to play bass. Like, and here's the thing, I'm really good at writing bass lines, very bad at playing bass. Like, almost on all of my songs, like, almost all the guitar parts on all of my songs are one takes, like, all the way through. That's how I want. And I'm like very kind of like a stickler about that. Like, if I mess up just like in the middle of like one, then I'm like, we're starting again. And I'm just like very into that. But like when it comes to bass, like any of my engineers or producers know they're just like, yeah, this is gonna be comped and Frankenstein and chopped up because I can't play a whole bass line all the way through. Like I could write it, but I won't be able to play it all the way through. So
Okay.
so it's hard for me to mention like bass or like drums or like any of the other things that I could make my way around. But in a jam session, would I hop on any of them? No. You know?
Okay. Okay, that's fair. Um, yeah, so that's all the questions we got. Is there anything else you would like to add? Is there any new music coming soon?
So yeah, next single will be out next month, like mid next month. Um, Next release on Accidental Pop Stars from one of my artists, Grant Pavel. His first single will also be out next month, a few days before mine. Again, it was not planned. Um, and and yeah, I mean, other than that stink, but just like everyone else, hopefully I'll be able to, tour these songs next year. Don't want to say I'm not hopeful because I'm trying to be as positive as I can during these days, but I don't know, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like you have to be hopeful. I feel
Yeah,
like there's no alternative.
yeah. I mean, yeah, I mean, there is, but it's not great.
Right, that's what I mean. Yeah.
I just miss playing with my best friend, who's like my bass player, and like we've been playing together since we were 16, and September will be a full year since we've played together, and it feels weird, I just miss her because she's in Vegas, so that's why. So, and
Okay.
I'm in Philly right now, so
Yeah, that's tough. I can't imagine like going that long. And you haven't seen her in since then.
I yes, and I haven't seen her since October. That's the last time I was in Vegas, so
That's such a long time.
yeah. The last time we talked on the phone, we talked for 5 hours.
Oh,
Yeah.
those are the best kinds of friends to have though, where you can just keep talking and I don't know, it's like so soothing to
Yeah, like me and I'm so close to my friends. Like I love my friends so much. All of my friends, like, me and my bass player have been friends since we're 16. Like my best friend who I'm doing the journal with, we've been friends since we know each other since sixth grade, but we hate each other the first 2 years. So technically eighth grade.
oh. Uh-oh.
Yeah. I think it's because we realized that we were just too similar. So by eighth grade, we were just like, I think we should just join forces. Like, this is
Okay.
enough. This is enough. Um, and I think I saw someone mention Machete in the chat too. And like, me and Machete have been friends for like over 5 years now, which is funny. Like, if you're gonna be friends with me, you're gonna be friends forever, and I want to make sure of it.
Aw, that's nice though. That's so rare. I feel like
Mhm.
nowadays people are just like, oh, hi, and you don't speak to them for 6 months, and then you see them out, and you're like, hey, what's up? Fine, like
It's because
you're
I
kind of
follow
friends.
up and I don't care about looking awkward. I'm just like, hey, we're friends, so we need to have we need to keep this going.
Yeah, yeah, that's how it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on and for sharing as much as you did. Really appreciate it.
No, thank
And
you for having me. This is such a really great thing, and it's so cool that you're doing this. And like, I'm kind of like inspired, like, because so many people want to like, do live streams with other artists to just like play. Oh my God, my birthday, fine. Just like play or like whatever. But I think I love personally talking to other artists like this one on one. Like, so
yeah,
yeah.
yep, me too. So I'm doing it, you know. Yeah, okay, so thank you for being here, and I'm gonna leave everybody with On My Own by Shamir. Yeah.